Hey guys, Bagan here and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing a bio on Hellboy, so let's get into this. Hellboy, or Anan an Rama, as he was called, was conceived on October 5th, 1617. The day his birth mother, Sarah Hughes, was on her deathbed. In life, Sarah was a witch who gained her powers from being a consort of the demon Azazel, a Duke of Hell who was Hellboy's biological father. Taking Sarah's body to hell when she attempted to repent on her deathbed within a church in East Bromwich, England, Azazel burned her away so the child would be born, and chopped off the newborn's right hand to replace it with the right hand of doom. A relic tied to the Ogdru Jahad. When the other princes of hell learned of his actions, Azazel sent his half-demon child away, while he was stripped of his powers and imprisoned in ice, similar to Lucifer's in Dante's Divine Comedy. The child is eventually summoned to Earth in the final months of World War II by the mad monk Grigory Rasputin on Tamagan Island off the coast of Scotland, having been commissioned by the Nazis to change the tide of a losing war. Project Ragnarok, a similar thing to the Norse gods Ragnarok. As a direct result of this ritual, the child appears on Earth in a fireball at what remained of the ruined Bromwich Church on December 23, 1944. Proving not to be a devil in the traditional sense, but a devil-like creature, the child was dubbed Hellboy by Professor Trevor Broom Brottenholm. Taken by the United States Armed Forces to an Air Force base in New Mexico, Hellboy is raised by Professor Brottenholm and the United States Army, where the Bureau for Paranormal Research and Defense, BPRD, a private organization dedicated to combating occult threats, begins. Due to the success of his first mission in 1952, Hellboy is granted honorary human status by the United Nations and becomes a member of the BPRD as the world's greatest paranormal investigator. As such, Hellboy interacts regularly with humans, primarily law enforcement officials, the military, and various scholars of the weird, most of whom are not presented as overly reacting to his strange appearance. As an adult, having matured physically within years and aging slowly while having a teenaged mind, Hellboy becomes the primary agent for the BPRD, alongside other human and quasi-human agents that include Kate Corrigan, a professor of folklore at New York University, Abe Sapien, an amphibian humanoid, sorry for this pronunciation, Ichththo Sabians, and Liz Sherman, a young pyrokinetic. Things change for Hellboy during the events of Seed of Destruction, when he finds Professor Brottenholm after he disappears in an expedition in the Arctic, and witnesses his adoptive father's death at the hands of Lovecraftian frog monster. The search takes Hellboy, Abe, and Liz to the Cavendish Hall mansion, which is a trap established by Rasputin to lure Hellboy into an embrace of his own destiny. With the assistance of Sadhu Hem, one of the spawn of the Ogdru Jahad, controlled by the spirit of one of the ancestral Cavendish men, Abe impales Rasputin. Liv's firestorm then incinerates Rasputin's body alongside Sadhu Hem's and destroys Cavendish Hall. Soon after, during a visit to the Bromwich Church, Hellboy gets a glimpse of his conception 300 plus years ago, and learns he has two human half-siblings, a nun and a priest, whose spirits haunt the church after their deaths, attempting to stop Azazel from claiming Sarah. Afforded by his demonic heritage, as well as extensive physical training and bodybuilding, Hellboy possesses superhuman strength that exceeds the one-ton base limit, endurance, a degree of resistance to injury, and a healing factor that allows him to heal quickly from virtually all bodily injuries, as well as renders him immune to all diseases. He also has the innate ability to comprehend ancient and magical languages. The extent of his strength is unclear, but he has torn down a large tree and hurled it at an opponent and has lifted massive stones before. He has also picked up and thrown opponents weighing at least 400 to 500 pounds. Hellboy has a high degree of resilience to injury. He can withstand powerful blows that would severely kill or injure a human. He survived being shot many times in the chest with an MG-42 machine gun before destroying it. He survived being impaled through the chest with a sword, severe werewolf mauling, being beaten unconscious with heavy iron tongs, falling from extreme heights, being crushed by boulders, and more. In the film version, it is stated that Hellboy is immune to all forms of fire and burns, including Liz Sherman's flames and electrocution. Despite his ability to recover quickly from seemingly mortal wounds, he is far from invulnerable and can be injured or bloodily by conventional weapons. It is revealed to Baba Yaga by the dead Russian nobility that Hellboy may not even be able to be slain through supernatural means, and that he appears to be as deathless as her warrior, Koschei the Deathless. In the films, Hellboy has shown skill in necromancy, animating a man's dead body so they could give him directions. Hellboy ages very differently from humans. In the story Pancakes, he is 2 years old but appears to be somewhere between 6 and 10 human years old. In Nature of the Beast, set in 1954, the 10-year-old Hellboy appears fully grown. His rapid physical maturation is in contrast to his actual rate of aging, however, which seems to be much slower than humans. Throughout the 60-year span of time depicted in the comics, he does not age beyond the plateau of physical maturity. This mystical aging process is similar to the other demons and supernatural beings that populate Hellboy's world. The lifespan of a demon or half-demon, as Hellboy's mother was human, are left undefined within the comics and seem to range from decades to many thousands of years. In the movies, Hellboy's aging process is described as BRPD, as reverse dog years. In addition to his natural physical abilities, Hellboy carries a variety of items in his utility belt and jacket that can be used against various supernatural forces. He has been known to carry holy relics, horseshoes, various herbs, and hand grenades, though he commonly carries an oversized revolver. Hellboy freely admits to being a lousy shot and often fights hand-to-hand, preferring to use short-range physical weapons like swords, spears, and his massive stone fist over firearms. Hellboy's lack of formal combat training and education is compensated for by his decades of experience as a paranormal investigator. Their encounters with unfamiliar threats have often forced him to resort to improvisation and using his wits. As revealed in Strange Places, Hellboy's right hand was originally the right hand of Unum, one of the greatest spirits that watched over the Bergonian earth and created the Ogdru Jahad. After sealing the Ogdru Jahad away, Unum was destroyed by his fellow spirits. Only his right hand remained intact, as it was kept and preserved by many races throughout history, including the first race of man. The right hand of Doom eventually ended up in the possession of Azazel, before he grafted it onto the newborn Hellboy. As the hand which created and bound the Ogdru Jahad, it is also the key which will loose and command them. In other words, it is a catalyst that will bring about Ragnarok. The comic books themselves never mentioned how the right hand of Doom would actually perform these tasks. It is only ever announced that this is the case and that someone or something intends to do it with or without Hellboy's consent. The film shows it working like a key, being turned twice in a special obelisk secured by Rasputin would release the Ogdru Jahad. It is made clear that it is not necessary for the arm to be attached to Hellboy to perform its duties. It has been suggested that if Hellboy dies while the hand is attached to him, it would become useless. He has therefore concluded that the only way to prevent its falling into the wrong hands is to keep and protect it, to resort to improvisation skills and using his wits. And that is the bio of Hellboy. Hope you guys did like this video. If you did, make sure to drop a like, comment, and subscribe. And you can share this video if you want with your friends and family to make sure they know a bit more about Hellboy. With that said, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.